Hey, what's going on everyone? YHawkX here, welcome to my channel. Today I thought we'd do a quick tutorial on how to apply RE Engine PC mods to your PlayStation 4. Now before we get started, there's a few things I'd like to mention. First, this tutorial assumes that you already know how to jailbreak your PS4 and install PKGs on it. Next, there's a zip in the description of this video that you'll need to download that contains all the necessary tools you'll need to follow along today. And third, there are no games available to download in the description of this video. You'll need to find those on your own or dump them yourself. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. Now if you look over here to the left, you'll see that I've got the 5.3 RE-PAK tools and the fake package generator tools. Both of these folders are included in the zip that you can download from the description of this video. You're going to need both of these for what we're doing today. So if you don't already have those downloaded, go ahead and grab them and extract them to your desktop and we'll get started from there. So now that we have our tools extracted to the desktop, let's go ahead and get ourselves some mods. Now I've included a few links in the description of the video to various sites where you can download mods for RE Engine games. I have a few right here that I've already downloaded. We got Master Chief, Samus, and Ultron. So let's go ahead and start by extracting these to our desktop. And once we've done that, we're going to want to go inside one of our mods. We'll go inside Master Chief right here. Go one more folder in and we'll see our natives folder. Go one more in and we see the STM folder. Now the STM folder is specific to the PC version of the game. And since we're doing this for the PlayStation 4, what we're going to want to do is rename this to PS4. So now that we've done that, we can go one more folder in and see the escape folder. Now this contains our mods, but for the PlayStation 4, it requires streaming assets for the mods to work correctly. So what we're going to want to do is create a new folder and call it streaming. And once we've done that, we'll take the escape folder and we're going to just copy it inside there. And we'll go inside to verify it's there. And now this mod is good to go. So next we'll go to our next folder, Jill Samus. We'll do the same thing. Now I'm going to skip renaming this to PS4 because I'm going to copy the stuff that's inside that folder to our final folder. You'll see what I mean when we get there. Now this one already has a streaming folder set up. However, sometimes not all the assets are in there. So what we're going to want to do is just go ahead and copy it in there to be sure everything's there. And it looks like not everything was there, so it's a good thing we did that. Any duplicates, just go ahead and replace them. And now this mod is good to go. We're going to do the same thing here. Copy the escape folder into the streaming folder. Looks like everything's already there. I'm going to go ahead and replace it just to be sure. And so with that, all these mods are now good to go. So now that we've got our mods all prepped and ready to go, now we're going to want to go inside the 5.3 RE-PAK tools folder. So we go in here. Now I want to point something out real quick. You'll see a couple list files. We got one for DMC5, RE2, and RE3. These are going to come into play a little bit later. I just wanted to call them out real quick. So since we initially set up our Master Chief folder, let's go ahead and open this. Let's go inside the first folder, and then there's our natives folder. Now this is what we want to copy over to the 5.3 RE-PAK tools folder. So we're just going to copy that over there like that. And now the Master Chief mod is done. So now since we didn't rename all of them to PS4, what we're going to want to do is go inside our Master Chief mod here into the PS4 folder. And we'll see our escape and streaming folders. So now go into our other mods that we set up. Go all the way inside till you see escape and streaming. And now these are the two folders you want to copy over. So there's Samus, and now let's do our Ultron mod. All right, and with that, all our mods are prepped and ready to go. Now that we have our mod set up in the RE-PAK tools folder, The next step is to convert the textures from PC textures to PlayStation 4 textures. So go back into the RE-PAK tools folder, scroll down, and you'll see this PS4-RE-TEX. So now what we're going to do is double click that, and you'll see a dialog prompt come up saying that it's working. This is taking everything in the natives folder and converting it from PC to PlayStation 4. Now this can take a few seconds. I've had it take as long as 5 minutes before. It just kind of depends on how large your mods are. So that went pretty quick. So now that we've done that, we're now ready to use the RE-PAK application to create our pack file. Now what we want to do is we want to go down to the RE-PAK application, double click it to open it. Now you're going to be presented with this prompt to let you select what game you're doing. However, before we do anything else, we want to come over here and check the Use Local List option. Now this is referring to the list files that I pointed out a little bit earlier. Now after we've done that, we want to come over here and select our game. I'm doing Resident Evil 3, so I'll click here. And then it opens the application. However, there's a bit of a quirk with this where it doesn't actually prompt us to select our list file the first time. So what we need to do is we need to close the application and then reopen it. And this time it will prompt us to select our list file. So what you want to do is scroll down to RE3, since that's the game I'm doing, and I'm going to double click on it to open it. So now our list file is loaded. Now what we want to do is go over here to File, Pack Creator, and then I'm going to click on Open/Save. Scroll down, and I'm going to select my RE-PAK list again. Now it throws an exception here. That's okay, don't worry about it. Just click Continue. And now what we want to do is click Create. Now this is going to create a pack file that you'll see right here using our mods that we just copied over. And this is a bit like the conversion process where it can take a few seconds up to a couple minutes depending on how large your mods are. So now what we need to do is just wait for this to finish. So that took a little bit to finish. I went ahead and fast forward so you didn't have to wait around for it. But now that our pack's created, now what we need to do is get this implemented into our actual update package. So we can go ahead now and close out of the RE-PAK application because we no longer need it. Now I'm going to go to my fake package generator tools folder and I'm going to open that up, and I want to open the application Orbis Pub Check. This is what we're going to use to extract our downloaded game PKG. So now I'm going to go where I have my game downloaded. That's in this RE3 folder. You can see right here we have the base game and we have the update file. So I'm going to add my mods just to the update package so that I have the latest update as well as my mods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this over to this application, and then I'm going to say extract files. Now because this is an FPKG, the passcode should be all zeros. So then we'll say extract. And when this pops up, you want to select all files and directories, and then click on select here. And now we're going to choose where to extract everything. So I'm going to put it right back in the RE3 folder where my game is. And then say start. Now if you have anything in that folder, you're going to get this pop-up that says, do you want to overwrite the stuff that's in there? It's only going to overwrite it if you have a folder named the same thing as what we're about to extract. So it's not going to overwrite your games that are already in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just say yes. And this should go pretty quickly. So now that that's extracted, we can go ahead and close this out. And in our game folder, you can see we have an SC0 folder and an Image0 folder. First thing we want to do is go into the SC0 folder, select everything, say cut, and we're going to put this in this SCE_sys folder. So go in there and then paste everything in. So now we no longer need this SC0 folder. We can go ahead and delete that. And here's a little trick. So if we were to try to package this up as a PKG, it's going to assume that this is a base game, but it's not a base game. It's an update file. So what we want to do is we want to name it a certain way so that it knows that it's an update file. So we're going to copy the CUSA of our game, which we can see right here. And then I'm going to say dash patch. So now when I use GenGP4 to generate our GP4 file, it's going to know it's a patch and not a base game. So now what we want to do is we want to come over here and grab our pack file and add it to our update folder. So if we go into our update folder, we're going to see that there's already a bunch of pack files in here. There's 000, 1 through 5, 001, 1 through 5. So if we look at the one we created, it's 000, 001. Now we don't want to copy this straight over because then we would overwrite this pack file. And we would essentially be overwriting files that were intended for the update. We want to have everything from the update intact plus our mods. So what we want to do is we want to rename this to be the next in the sequence, which in this case would be 006. So now that we've done that, we can copy this over and now we're good to go. Now we can go ahead and close our 5.3 RE-PAK tools folder because we no longer need it. And I want to show you guys something. So if you click on your patch folder, you go into the SCE sys folder and then the Changeinfo folder, you'll see these Changeinfo XMLs. Now this contains the information that displays on the update history of a PS4 game when you're at your dashboard. The different numbers here correspond to different languages. So what I like to do is I always update the 01 for English and then the base XML. So if we open these up, you'll see it has our update history notes. So then we come down to the latest version, 1.05. So I'm going to add a few additional lines here for our mods. And then I'm going to rename this and add all of my mods in. So we'll do Samus, Jill, Master Chief, Carlos, Ultron, Nemesis. And then I'm going to copy this. We'll go ahead and save it. And then I'll come over to the other XML and paste everything in. And then we'll save this one. And now that's done. So we can close out of this. And then we can come over and now we want to open our fake package generator tools folder. And we're finally going to generate our GP4 file. So now let's open this Gen GP4. And we're going to click on this folder icon. And now we're going to navigate to where our update folder is. So I have mine in this RE3 folder here, and then we'll click on that and say OK. And then we'll click generate, and now save GP4. So go ahead and save that. And now we can close out of this. And now it's finally time to build our update package. So we want to open Orbis Pub Gen here. And we want to go File, Open, and then open the GP4 we just created. Now we want to assign this to our base game. And how we do that is we go to this command option, and then we'll go down to Project Settings, and then go to the Patch tab. And right here where it says Application Package, this is where we're going to put in our base game. So then go and find your base game, and double click on it to add it to there. And you'll see it populates with this package digest information here. Now this means that your update that we're going to create is only going to work with the base game that you assign to it here. So go ahead and click OK, and then click Build. You don't need to worry about any of these options over here. Just come down here and click Select, and this is where we name what it's going to be. Now I always like to name mine in correspondence with what my mods actually are, and then add the CUSA to the end of it. So for this, I'm going to say Samus and Master Chief and Ultron, and then we'll do CUSA 14168. We'll click OK, and then finally click Build. Now this can go quick or it could take a few minutes. It really depends on how often you've built PKGs for a game before. So if this is your first time building an update package for a base game, it might take you like 5 to 10 minutes depending on how strong your PC is. But since I've done this multiple times for the same game, it's going to go very quickly. So now we can click close out of this. And now if we go to our folder, there's our update package with our mods. So now let's transfer this to a USB drive and then switch over to the PlayStation 4 and check everything out. So I've actually got my thumb drive already inserted. So we'll come down here and click on that. And then we'll copy this new mod package over. All right, time to switch over to the PlayStation 4. I'll see you guys over there. So now that we're on the PlayStation 4, let's install our mod package. So we'll go to Settings, Debug Settings, Game, Package Installer, and there's our mod. So we'll click on that to install it. Should go pretty quickly. All right. Now, I want to show you this real quick. If you click Options and go to Update History, you can see where we changed the Change XML to include our mods. So that's a real quick way to just look and see what you have installed. So now let's start the game up and check everything out. No crashes, always a good sign. And we should see our Ultron mod right off the bat. And there it is. Looks awesome. Now I have a couple saves throughout the game. I'm going to load one up so we can check out our mods. Let's do Jill first. And there's our Samus mod. Very cool. Now, if you load up the game and your mod isn't showing up, you might need to change your costume that you have equipped. Now, sometimes it'll have like the name and a picture of what the costume is in your costume section, but it doesn't always do that. Not all mods do that. So if your mod isn't showing up, be sure to change your costume because it could be on one of the other ones. All right, let's load up a Carlos save and check out our Master Chief mod. And there's our Master Chief mod. Very cool. All right, now I have one last thing to show you guys. If we quit and go back to the main menu, go to Bonuses, Models, and in the model viewer, you can check out your costumes or your mods that you've installed. So we'll click on Nemesis here, and we see Ultron. Now, if you notice, Jill isn't in the full Samus costume. And the reason for that is because the suit itself is on a different costume than the one she has equipped. So that's why it's not showing up here. The head model and hair is on all the costumes though. Check out Master Chief. is Jill in her Samus suit. Very cool. Well, everyone, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, feel free to leave a like and comment any suggestions you have for future videos. I do have a couple more videos in the works. I'm currently planning on doing one for applying various Bloodborne mods, and I also have one for Borderlands 3 on how to transfer PC saves and modded PS4 saves to your PlayStation 5. So look for those in the future. Thanks everyone, take care.